Hey, folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly, and we're back with another East Tennessee fishing report with Ellis Ward. Ellis, how are you?
I am doing well, Marv. How are you?
As always, I'm just trying to stay out of trouble, and, it's damn near spring in Johnson City.
Man, it's spring today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and then it's going to be winter again, I think over the weekend, but it's, low 50s today, and then we're getting mid to upper 50s the next couple days, and might even get some rain, which all precipitation and cloud has been. We got a little rain a couple days ago, but it promptly froze into sheets of ice on all roadways the next morning. So, you get soft here. It's the weeks or the weekends or, the periods of time where it's in the like mid to upper 40s is kind of the normal. So we had a nice little push of hovering around freezing, and then a week or more where, we're getting highs in the 20s. And I have family in Michigan, grew up in Ohio. Those numbers are very soft, but it's cold. And then as it relates to fishing, it's too cold. So nice to have the weather we have right now.
Yeah, I bet you're wearing shorts too, right?
Yeah, I was yesterday.
Yeah, so, obviously it's thawed out, so you're not sliding all over creation with a bunch of people in the South that don't know how to drive in snow and or ice. What do you expect to see when you get back on the water?
Yeah, it's been a couple days, but we're still very firmly in the post spawn. The Watauga continues to clear up both with time, and I won't run that down as I have in previous episodes, but with time and with more releases of water, it's continuing to clear up. I'm guessing the Doe and all the little feeder creeks up in North Carolina, and the Watauga's gonna have color for quite some time now, but the clarity is just couldn't ask for more. And given the amount of precipitation from snow and ice and all that in the last few weeks, and the temperatures forecasting some good flows, and been sort of waiting on some real good blue wingy days. I think on the Watauga in particular, the South Holston's basically back to its normal self, and has been for a little while, which is it's very interesting. If you look at the South Holston Reservoir and Watauga Lake on a map, and just as the crow flies, you're thinking about, I'm talking about the influence of Helene back in October. The watershed from the Watauga and then the watershed from the Holston, it's wild how much more the Watauga was influenced. And relative to the size of that storm, those two pieces of water and their watersheds are, I would say, almost the same thing, but vastly different results. So I would hope with, the continuation of water clearing, that's really that's been the culprit for a lack of hatches on the Watauga. But you get really nice blue wing days. Even in the pits, the when it's snowing 30 degrees and kind of socked in weather, those are typically great dry fly fishing days. So outside of that, on the streamer front, it's I'm not going to say it's sort of business as usual, just because this post spawn time period is where you can and should explore. They're not eating a 4+ inch white dudgeon. And this was, 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh, well, given the clarity and this time of year, I put on just a big triple drunken disorderly and, fishing it pretty close to the surface and just getting smashed. And it's a whole mess of fun. So, got another good month of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be there for the tail end of that month. And last time we spoke,
Right.
yeah, you were doing musky reconnaissance. You've been doing more of that.
No, not in the last. I've been taking care of a newborn baby on my off days, and you know, picking up some guiding here and there as I get back into what feels like sort of a normal life. So I got my eyes on getting back there, and actually just finished a few different flies this morning and yesterday, and working on a video for one of them. Some big musky flies, and doing some video work mid-month. So time to get back up to speed there.
Yeah, there you go. Got a question for you from Fleas and Meat, and he's feeling life at the Vice too. And he wanted to know, if you're kind of playing around with some new things on the tying front, and if you're making any adjustments during the winter.
Yeah, I would say that I'm thinking of the period of time where I sort of stay stable or consistent or boring, and I think that would be, I don't know, like a June-ish, maybe through fall, and then after that, I really have a hard time just tying the same thing. And there are some flies that I can tie. I love tying the drunken disorderly. It's a lot of fun. I think I have so many. It took so long to get to a place where I feel good with tying it, and I understand that when I tie it, it's going to do certain things. And I think there's just part of that discovery, part of that process that makes it so fun to tie. And the dungeons and the peanuts, just the little double bugger platforms with whatever on the head, and switching weights up. And the swim bug, and double Bufords for musky. But those are more, that would be like the starting lineup for guiding. And then there's, I can only do so much of that. So I'll tie some, I'll do like 3 or 4 like white or tan back sections of what might be peanuts or dungeons or gongas or whatever, and just like put those off to the side, and then kind of go off to the races with some other stuff. And so I guess a couple of the different things that I've been playing with have been some of the finesse changers with some different weights, where just being able to explore getting that, getting those kill triggers, getting that movement. And so many of the reasons that I've designed the swim bug, which, given that it's deer head and 3 shanked, and, there's some intricacy in fishing it. And, I love it for certain reasons, love the drunk for certain reasons, love the game changer platform for certain reasons. And I'll just get into, a changer platform every now and again. And, 2 or 3 years ago it was the craft fur changer. So I've been kind of playing with, the finesse changers a little bit. And then I guess something sort of, I don't know, off peak, if that's a term that I can use for fly tying, is doing musky drunks. And so This would be on 4-aught TP650. It's a piece of meat. That's or a piece of metal, I should say. It's a big hook, and it's, I'm not really sure what you would use it for other than a musky size drunken disorderly. So I started playing with this, like, gosh, I have a couple hung up on my wall, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And when you get up, this is with all big flies and profiles and all that. When you start really, really sizing up, all of these things have exclamation points on it. The swim, when you want to walk the dog and get all this, that, and the other right, you can't use rabbit. It doesn't work. It's, just bucktail also doesn't work. There's too much buoyancy within the water, so you don't get that. The momentum of the hook in order to get your dog walk is sort of overridden by, you can kind of envision it as friction, but the buoyant bucktail is basically just stopping it. So you can't necessarily just put a drunk head in front of a Buford and fish it that way. So I started tying them with, Magnum Flashaboo, and really using that as almost like a bucktail type support, or added structure and swim, and craft fur instead of rabbit. And then you start getting into casting implications, and there's durability implications. And, I don't want that rattle up on the front hook. So I played around with a bunch, and got to a place this last year that I feel really good about. And on more than one day, that has been the answer for clients fishing for muskie. And this is one where certain sections, they see lots of baits and lots of flies, and the fish we were moving, and where we were moving them, and when we were moving them. I mean, there were two fish in particular that moved on the drunk, and this was a client fishing them, and it was just me and him, and he and I have known each other for a while, and he encourages my fishing. So I was sitting there chucking the bait caster, and I didn't move a fish all day, and he moved two on this thing. So it's a different look, and I've had other clients sort of take the idea and run with it back in their home waters, and you just think about the changing size and profile and water column and all that. It's a really powerful tool when you're restricted to the world of fly fishing, to be able to, and same with, the smaller ones for trout, to be able to employ that like vastly different presentation. So, all of these things have endless rabbit holes, and I've been kind of diving down that one recently, and have the first half of a tying video on that filmed. So I'm going to stop talking there.
Yeah, I was getting ready to recall the drones.
Yep, it's time to go.
Yeah, so, folks, we love questions on the articulate fly. You can email me or DM me on social media, whatever's easiest for you. And if we use your question, I will send you some articulate fly swag. And you're drawing for some cool stuff from Ellis at the end of the season. And Ellis, before I let you go, I know you got a lot going on, how to get on the boat, how to talk fishing, how to buy bucktails, all that kind of good stuff. You want to let folks know?
Yeah, best way to talk fishing, trips, tying, whatever, is my cell phone at 513-543-0019. You can follow along. I've been a little quieter on social media, and that's just somewhat intentional. I haven't been pushing as much of my attention there, but I am on Instagram at Ellis Ward Guides. And then bucktail availability, purchasing bucktail in general can be found on my website at elliswardflies.com. And, there's pictures, and you can find out more about trips, and get some musky baits, or some, I'll put trout flies up there every once in a while. So yeah, lots of good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And, folks, if you're going to be at Bobbin this weekend, I'll be up there, and I may or may not have some samples of Ellis's bucktails for you guys to check out. And, also remember that if you are a bucktail fiend, if you join our community that we host on Patreon, we've got a couple of opportunities, one of which is a discount on bucktail, the other of which is a guide discount with Ellis. And then I guess it's a lot of public service announcements this time, Ellis, but also want to let folks know, if they didn't see it on our social media feed, we are getting ready to launch a new kind of predator fly specific podcast called The Butcher Shop, and super stoked about that. It's a project I've wanted to do for a while, and we're coming out in full force. I think the first 3 guests are Blaine Chocolate, Russ Madden, and Tommy Lynch. So, check that out wherever you get your podcasts, right?
Yeah, a lot of public service announcements, but we each do a lot of things, so I think they are deserved.
Yeah, there you go. Well, listen, folks, if you're thawing out and you're wearing shorts, go fishing. And if you can't do that, tie some flies or get to your local fly fishing show. And if you're going to be at Bobbin this weekend, grab me and say hello. I'll be there all weekend. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Ellis.
Appreciate it, Marv.